Hey guys, welcome to our second video in Unit 2. Hopefully you enjoyed the first one and you really understand how to solve an equation, what a solution is, and that we have a good foundation with kind of our one and two step solving our one and two step single variable linear equations. So in this video we're going to start talking about what happens when the equations become a little bit more complex. And what's essentially going to happen is we're going to take some of the simplifying expression techniques we learned in Unit 1, and we're now going to be applying them in our process of solving our equations. So the first thing we're going to look at that could make your equation a little more complex is parentheses. So if we look at this example, we have 2 times the quantity of x minus 4 equals 24. Before we can do anything to get the variable alone, we have to get rid of these parentheses because we can see the variable is inside those parentheses. So we go back to Unit 1. How would we simplify having a value being multiplied by parentheses with more than one term inside? We use the distributive property. Distribute the 2 to the x and to the 4. We get 2x minus 8 equals 24. At this point, it's a two-step equation, just like we worked on in the last video. Add 8 to both sides to eliminate the negative 8. We divide by 2 on each side to get rid of the coefficient of 2, and x is going to equal 16. Again, we can always check our answer by substituting x back into the original equation and checking if it makes the equation true, which in this case it would. So another complexity that could arise when we're solving our equations is that we have like terms on the same side. To this point, we've never had any like terms on the same side of the equal sign. But you can see in this equation, we have 2 like terms that are on the left-hand side, 3x and 7x. Well, we can't get x alone if it's in 2 different terms. So we need to combine those terms, just like we did. We're not canceling, we're not eliminating, we are combining. And that's an important word to make sure we associate when the like terms are on the same side. 7 plus 3 is 10x. Now it's a two-step equation, and we can eliminate the constant by adding 53, and we can eliminate the coefficient by dividing by 10. So the third complexity we're going to look at in this video lesson is variable terms on both sides, or an abbreviation for that is VOBs, is an easy way to kind of remember that there. What will happen is we now have a variable term on both sides. Now we cannot combine these because they're not on the same side of the equal sign. They're not on the same side of the equation. So we have to do something to get them on the same side of the equation so that we can combine them and we don't have a variable in 2 different terms. So what we're going to do is we see the 6x and the 2x are on opposite sides. And our strategy is going to be to eliminate the variable term with the smaller coefficient by using its additive inverse. So we can see 2 is smaller than 6. So I am going to eliminate the 2x by subtracting 2x. And we remember our subtraction property of equality says whatever I do to one side with subtraction I have to do the other. So by subtracting 2x on the right, I'm actually taking that and moving that variable term over to the left-hand side. Now I can combine 6x and negative 2x, and you can see we have 4x plus 15 equals negative 33. This again is a two-step equation, just like we had in the last unit and we've seen in the previous problems. We need to cancel the constant by subtracting 15 and then eliminate the coefficient by dividing by 4. So we've just gone through a problem with an example of each of these different pieces of complexity that we're adding to our equations separately. Let's look at some equations where we've kind of combined those. So if we look at A, you can see that on the left-hand side there are like terms. Now they're not variable terms, they're constants, the 12 and the negative 4. So we have like terms on the same side. But you'll also notice there's a 7x on the left and a 5x on the right. So we also have like terms, or variable terms on both sides. Now, you technically can simplify these in any order. I would highly recommend to first deal with like terms on the same side. So we have 12, we have negative 4, I'm going to combine those to 8. Now once I've combined my like terms, now let's deal with the variable terms on both sides, 7x and 5x. 5 is smaller than 7, so I'm going to eliminate the 5x by subtracting 5x from each side, and now I have 2x plus 8 equals negative 10. Now it's a two-step equation. Eliminate the constant by subtracting 8 and eliminate the coefficient by dividing by 2. We get x equals negative 9. Now in B, we have all three represented here. Now here, order does matter. You always want to simplify any grouping symbols you have in your equation first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that 3 and we're going to distribute it to the 2x plus 12. And you can see we get 6x plus 36. Now you can see on the right-hand side, I do have like terms on the same side of my equation, the 4x and the 6x. So before I do anything else, I'm going to combine those. You can see I get 10x. Thirdly, now we can see that we have variable terms on both sides. I've got a 6x on the left and a 10x on the right. So I'm going to want to eliminate the 6x by subtracting 6x from both sides, and I will end up with 36 equals 4x minus 8. Notice here that the variable, the expression with the variable is on the right-hand side of the equation, and that makes absolutely no difference whatsoever as to which side of the equation you have your variable on. We perform the same operations and we go through the process the same way. So I'm going to eliminate the constant by adding 8 to both sides, and then I'm going to eliminate the coefficient by dividing by 4, and we get x equals 11. Well, we've done a number of examples together, so now it's time for you to try these on your own. So go ahead, pause the video, and try to find the value of x that will make these equations true. Ready, pause. Let's see how you did. Hopefully, for the first equation, you saw there's parentheses and like terms on the same side, and you got x is equal to 5. In the second equation, we can see we have like terms on the same side and variable terms on both sides. And you got either 11/2, which it's okay to leave it as an improper fraction, or 5.5. In the third equation, we had all three, parentheses, like terms on the left-hand side, and then variable terms on both sides. And if we simplify all of that, then eliminate our constant, and then eliminate our coefficient, we would get x equals 7. If you were not able to achieve these solutions, if you couldn't figure out how we got 5, 11/2, or 7, please write the questions down. Please come to class and ask. We'll talk about them. We'll go over them. But we don't know you have questions unless you're asking them in class. Well, that leads us to the end. Hopefully this video was like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow for you. We'll see you in class.